When we speak of food shortage, it's not to create a fear psychosis in people's mind. The overall idea is to make sure all of us start adapting to it from now onwards. Government should focus more on these things happening, understand the impending disaster, I must tell you, and work out a mechanism to make sure we will move out of this trouble and try to move out of the troubled waters. And that's the whole idea of talking about a food shortage.
On top of political unrest, medicine and fuel shortages, and an economic crisis that looks to get worse before it can get better, local scientists and agricultural experts are also warning of an upcoming food shortage towards the end of this year. The shortage was predictable, they say, as far back as the beginning of last year when President Gotabaya Rajapaksa banned chemical fertilisers and pesticides, key agricultural inputs for local farmers.
One of the main contributors is the banning or non-availability of major agricultural inputs like synthetic fertilizer and synthetic pesticides.
The ban had drastic effects on crop yields, with roughly 50% of paddy, the country's main food crop, being lost in the last agricultural season. The same season saw the yield of maize, the main animal food crop, reducing by 65 to 70% or more.
And that is reflected right now even in the market. If you look at the proteinous foods, animal food like eggs, which are where the prices are increasing almost every day, and also the chicken meat, where the prices have become exorbitant right now. Moving away from the reach of the poorest of the poor in this country. The level of affordability is declining every day.
Adding to this, of course, is the country's worsening foreign exchange crisis, which has seen the value of the rupee plummet and rendered the government unable to afford key imports.
A country's food security can be achieved mainly in two ways. One way is to maximize the contribution of country's own production or agriculture. The second way is that if you have the buying power, if you have the foreign exchange, definitely you can import food and start filling the gap, like what some of the developing countries does. The interesting part is when this illogical, unscientific decision was taken in April last year. By that time, we were not even given a hint of saying that there's a foreign exchange crisis on the cards. But by the time the government decided to remove or revoke the Gazette notification banning the two categories of important agricultural inputs, that are synthetic fertilizers and synthetic pesticides, they revoked the ban on 30th November 2021. But by that time, here comes another important issue, foreign exchange crisis.
The current shortage of fuel has brought the country to a near standstill, and this will also impact food security and distribution island-wide.
We never discuss fuel as one of the important and limited input for agriculture. Until the recent past. And what has happened right now is not because of there's a fuel shortage overseas, but we don't have adequate foreign exchange to purchase fuel. That is where the problem is. So all in all, what we see is this is the worst man-made disaster to the agriculture sector. I'm leaving out the overall economy. Worst man-made disaster since gaining independence in 1948. If all these things were created by God-given activities like drought or floods, we can definitely have our mindset settled and to come to a compromise. But this is man-made. This is exactly why I say the importance. And we should never allow such decisions to be taken in the future, because food security is not only to Sri Lanka, for every country in the world, food security is national security.